The Weeknd has never dropped a bad album, and the last two albums that he has dropped has been near perfect. But I am still nervous about this upcoming album by The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow. And in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why I'm worried about this album as well as the key to this album's success. With that being said, get yourself something to snack on, maybe some cranberry juice, some Cheerios, and let's get right into it. The first reason why I'm a little bit stressed about this brand new album coming out is, can he maintain the success of his previous albums? Alright, and I'm sure that he knows that there's a lot of pressure on him. I mean, since his last album, he has officially become the most listened to artist of all time. And after that, everybody expects you to just continue making these masterpieces of albums, but the amount of pressure that can be on somebody is probably a ton. And he's even opened up talking about that he's been going through a rough time in his personal life recently, as well as the stress of all the fame and fortune and all that stuff could be definitely weighing on him. And I'm very interested to see how this correlates now that he's the most listened to artist of all time. How is this going to correlate with his music? You know what I'm saying? People always talk about, oh, Drake thinks he's Michael Jackson. The Weeknd actually is the same level of Michael Jackson in the modern day almost. Like, everybody has been listening to The Weeknd. 110 million monthly listeners or something like that. And even though Michael Jackson was not actually in the streaming era, I believe that The Weeknd is the closest thing to a modern day Michael Jackson. But back to the pressure part, this could be used in either a horrible way where he kind of crumbles a little bit, maybe doesn't exceed the expectations of this album that everybody's been hoping for. But he could also use it on a positive note where we've seen, like, Frank Ocean goes through something, he drops an absolute masterpiece of an album, and we know that The Weeknd on this album is being more of himself and less of a character. On Dawn FM we had that old person character, on the After Hours we had that other character, and in this current album it's him and a wife beater, bro. Him and a wife beater's on the album cover. Like, that's literally just him just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And he looks a little bit goofy on the album cover, don't get me wrong, but that still could symbolize that this could be his most personal album that we maybe have ever heard from him. But with this first lead single, a lot of people were very unenthusiastic about it. In my opinion, I enjoyed it, but if he does have this character, or not character, of him just being himself normally, then how is that going to play out with this single? Does this single fit in the album? How is this going to correlate to the rest of the songs that he releases with this album? And in my opinion, I enjoyed the song a lot, but a lot of people were very hesitant to be like, oh, this is a great song, this is a great song. A lot of people were just saying it's good, not the greatest thing they've heard, and definitely the weakest out of every single that he has dropped in the trilogy so far. I mean, After Hours had massive singles, bro. I'm talking about Heartless, which dropped in 2019. Blinding Lights was also probably one of his biggest songs of all time, if not his biggest. Save Your Tears was also a massive single. And then even that continued with Dawn FM, where maybe it wasn't as large as the After Hours, but Dawn FM had Take My Breath, which had 175 million plays. And yeah, it's had 3 years to grow in relevance and the amount of listens that it has, but overall this was his least successful single, and it makes me a little bit worried about the direction of this album. Is he going to try to mostly focus on the storyline of the album, or is he going to actually mix in a lot of his hits with his actual storytelling? And we've seen him do it on the After Hours. He did an incredible job at mixing that, but I really hope that he does not try to reuse his old vibes too much either. I hope that he kind of sticks to something a little bit newer. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of the other big worrying parts about that single was the fact that it sounded like something off of Dawn FM, bro. The new single that he just dropped, Dancing in the Flames, sounded like something similar on Dawn FM, and we already heard that sound. I hope that he can switch it up just a tiny bit. But with that being said, now we're going to get into the points on how can Mr. Weeknd, not Weekday, drop a good album. By no means do I have some expert opinion on what you should do to make a successful album, but I have seen some things that I've seen where I'm like, oh, that probably could have helped the success of this album, could have not helped the success of this album. And obviously, one of the big things is mixing digestible hits and storyline, and I can't do that, but I'm feeling like The Weeknd has that ability. Like, he knows how to make a hit, and he knows how to focus on storyline. Whenever he focuses on one or the other, it's absolutely incredible. So if he does not focus way too much on the storyline or way too much on the hits, everybody will be happy. And he, even then, bro, he could focus on the hits if he really wanted to, and a lot of people would be like, well, this is a great album. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows how to make hits. Although I love Don FM, a lot of people were very critical because it didn't have as many hits as the After Hours, and this currently seems to be a very, very smaller level compared to Don FM as well as After Hours. I mean, it's not a bad single that he released, but I really think that he could use some oomph if he drops another lead single. Maybe add some more instrumentals and vocal layering, because on this last one, even though it sounded very catchy, it sounded pretty simple as well as fairly stripped in terms of the production compared to the other singles that he has dropped. But I do love the music video, and I think that he's really good with his music videos. And also on this album, I really hope that he has some voice continuing to narrate, bro. I think it was really great on Don FM when he had Jim Carrey sounding all creepy and stuff. I kind of want Jim Carrey back. I mean, I know it's like, don't reuse your same stuff that you did on the last album, but I love me some Jim Carrey on the Don FM. Like, that was just an overall incredible world-building album. Like, it was great. Also on here, I think that he would be best to have a couple features, but don't dwell too much on the feature list. I know that they said Playboi Carti's most likely going to be on this album. I hope that he uses Playboi Carti in the same way that he's been using artists, for like an artistic level. So many artists just throw people on there just to have like big artists on there, to have like a little bit of excitement with it. I really get excited when I see artists such as like Tyler the Creator get added onto there, or even Tyler the Creator's albums. He's very good at using people for their artistic abilities, what they would match with which each song. And I feel like The Weeknd is also pretty solid at matching the artist with the song. We seen him add Tyler the Creator onto Don FM. We seen him add, even Lil Wayne did a pretty good part on Don FM. And I hope that The Weeknd continues to use his features to the best of their own like artistic ability, you know, and not just throw them on there, not just slap them on there. And I find it interesting because the After Hours, I don't believe, had a single feature except for the Save Your Tears remix with Ariana Grande. But then, like, even then, like, I don't even remember the Save Your Tears remix with Ariana Grande. Like, I think that he did a great job at just doing vocals by himself. And I really hope that he doesn't have like an artist completely be put on there and drags the whole project down. I hope that Playboi Carti's verse is good. I heard that it was on there. And I don't know, maybe we could see a different feature from, hopefully, Tyler the Creator again. Or maybe he could get some interesting artists who he's never worked with before, bro. Maybe we could get like a random feature on there and just see how it goes. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of indecisive right now. I'm not the director of this album, but at the end of the day, bro, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I have a feeling that the album will definitely be able to be pulled off properly. I feel like he has great artistic vision. But with that all being said, if you guys enjoy videos like this, where it's like a lot less like, I one take these videos, I'm not gonna lie, or like not one take, but I don't redo or script my videos a lot. So if you guys enjoy like a more personal, like I'm talking to you right now, like you watching this, if you enjoy this, then you should subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Here's my socials if you guys want to check that out. And yeah, I love you all very much. I'm conflicted. And how do you feel about this Weeknd single and the album coming out? Peace.